Meeting to order, and welcome everyone. Please be sure that you signed in so we know you were here. You don't have to do it right now, Sydney. You can do it in a few minutes on your way out.
He may forget it on his
your way
out.
And I'm sure Mr. Payroll has signed in. So, all right. You were sent the minutes for the last meeting. Is there anything to ratify? Was there anything to ratify?
No, ma'am.
So, were there additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Ms. Salter has moved to approve the minutes as presented. Is there a second? Dr. Owens has seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Let's move into 2.1, the Rock House update. Dr. Barron has graciously agreed to give us an update on the Rock House.
Over here?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I apologize for my voice, but I attended a social event Saturday night, and all we could talk was to talk real loud, so I think I did too much. So bear with me a little bit.
Did you dance on the tabletops?
No, I tried not to do that. That can be dangerous. People are excited about giving you an update, delighted to talk to you, because it's good news. It's good news. 2 or 3 things. Number one, we're about 90% at the end of our plan. And the plan we drew up and the money we got, I've spent day and night making sure it fit, and it fits down to the last dollar. I went before the Canada Waterway Commission. They said, well, typically when we do a project like this, it never fits. Well, it's going to fit with us. So we fit just right. We're at 95% finished. We think we're about 6 weeks away. I was down Riverbank today, and right now we're taping and floating the support building. We got the Rock House ready to do the bousillage, and we hope to do that next Monday. We start. The biggest problem, for example, in bousillage, I want to use the red clay from here, not clay you're talking about, because this is where it was originally built. And I want to make sure that when we put the bousillage in, it's the same color they did in 1803. This is a poor man's house. He didn't have money to do wash on it and make it colors. So we think we can do that. So when you go down, I want to look just like it did then, which is red clay. And we got fireplace and made sure we got all the mortar and that fit the mortar they had at that time to make sure it fit. We tried everywhere we can to make it look as best as we can imagine 1803 would be. But please understand, there was no as-built plans. A lot of it is just guesswork. For example, we were down the other day looking at all the windows. Somebody said, well, you can put brand new hinges and shutters on it. I said, no, we're not. We're going to make sure those hinges work, and we're going to clean those shutters up. We had to put a nail in to make them plumb because there's some of them like this. It's going to be the same shutters. The windows are going to be the same windows there in 1967. The flooring came up in 3 different sections. Well, no, we didn't find flooring to make it nice and neat. We want it to look like it did in 1803. So you're going to find 3 different kinds of flooring in there. But it's the same flooring we think was in 1803. We find some of the ceiling, we can't get any guarantee on the ceiling. So when you walk in, you're going to see the ceiling rafters have the wall studs pegged into them. Well, we did a lot to make sure those pegs never moved. And they're right there for you to see like it was in 1803. But the sheeting they put on those, they say when you and I build a ceiling, we nail from bottom. They put a ceiling, let them sit on top. They used no nails when they built it. Now, we worked on the roof. There were I can't remember how many now, about 36, 38 rafters we had to take out. We had to rebuild 6 of them because it didn't fit the changing pitch to the roof. But when we took all those rafters down, they were square nails. Well, square nails is what they used in 1803. See, it was just great, outstanding. Now, a couple of those rafters we had to, what they call sandwich, to make sure they're strong enough. So there's a little new wood there. But by and large, you get them and go in the attic, it's old. Now, all the rafters had an 18-inch pigtail, they called it, that leaned overhead right by the soffit. And people, when you see them, we left them all in there. Some of them are rotten, some of them are not full, but they're like, that's the original pigtails. We want them left just like that. We think when we finish, we'll have bousillage in every wall of the house. Now, we did a mountain of research about the quote, room that dropped off. I don't think there was a room dropped off. I was here in 1967 and just joined the faculty, and I was standing downtown when they came in on an 18-wheel truck, and people, it was just stacked up on the back of that truck. They got it down there, started putting it back together. I think somebody decided that, that room we think was on it down in 1966 was on that left end when you face it. So let's build a roof to cover that. So they built a 13-foot overhang there, 11-foot overhang in the front, 11-foot overhang in the back, and a 1-foot overhang right in. Now, how they got that overhang, who knows? But when we got into it, there was never room in that left end. So the story, the myth, it dropped off when they moved it. No, we have pictures that were taken before the house was moved, taking one end of it. The picture shows you could see all the way through that left room, they call it. It was a lean-to. It wasn't sheeted siding. It was a lean-to. And some of it's missing. You could see it all the way through it. Now, conversation comes up about why are we 8 foot all the way around an overhang. I'll tell you the answer. We talked to the man in Baton Rouge named Eddie, state expert of Boussiage. I said, Eddie, I don't want to cover walls. I want people to come to the house and see all the Boussiage, just like it was built. He said, you need 8 foot overhang. I said, where'd you get 8? He said, 8 foot will protect the rain from hitting those walls, and you can expose the walls. He said, if you got every room in this house, Boussiage, and every room exposed, he said, I'm going to bring people all the time to see this house. The only one he knows of in Louisiana, that every wall is exposed. Now, we have lots of extra lighting in the house. Someone asked me one time, what do you mean by adaptive restoration? It means we got it air conditioned now. They didn't have it in 1803. We got it heated. They didn't have it in 1803. Plus, we put lights in the ceiling, can light. So when we turn it on inside, you can see everything inside. And there'll be a lot to see. Now, we're having people, we've got 2 Omaha's from Melrose that loaned us. Will fit great. We couldn't find a bed. So we had some descriptions of what beds were like then. So we had somebody making us a bed. We couldn't find a table. Now, people, you can find antiques, but we can't use a French, antique that sells for thousands of dollars. Remember, this is a poor man. We got to use the kind of antique he would have, or shelf he'd have used. So we try to make sure the chairs, I want it to look like a house that was lived in 1803. That's the whole goal. Now, right now, we're down to all the taping and floating and the support building, and we're down to where we can start in the rock house. And we think in 6 weeks, we'll be what they call the punch list. So in 6 weeks, we'll have a punch list. So you'll need 30 days after the punch list to correct it. Now, one big problem we ran into, the landscaper put in 600 people. There go plants all over the place down there when you see it. I mean, beds of annuals, plants. You're going to like it, I believe. But he planted all those about this tall. He planted them on a bed between the grass and the back of maglios. There's a wall in there. We enlarged that bed and put it all in there. And I asked him one day, I said, well, PK, do you think they lived? He said, I don't know. I said, we haven't bought those yet, so if they don't live, you got a problem. He said, I know it. He said, but if they didn't live, we'll replace them. So we're putting all that in. Right now, today, as we speak, it's down the riverbank, they're finishing all the forms for the promenade. So the promenade will extend from the Santa Claus house, past the stage, past the canoe house, past the rock house, all the way to the north end of that property, the entire riverbank. Now, the riverbank from the old boathouse down there, where it is, up to at the end of the waterfall, you don't see it, but it's built like a driveway. We put extra concrete under it, put the pavers on top. It looks just like the rest of it. But what we want is a spot that when people rent out Beaujardin, they go by the boathouse, turn through theirs, and drive an ATV or something down there, or a light little pickup or a light little van to haul stuff down to the waterfall for people who rent it. Now, see, you won't see that. That'll be hidden. And I'm going to shut up right now because y'all going to throw me out. But I'm excited about it. Terrific, going great. And I invite all of you all to put your name on that wall. And if you wonder what it's going to look like, you call me. I'll take it in right now and show it to you. We've got about 300 names on the wall right now. Now, Sharon and I were talking about it. The best way to put your name on the wall, you go online or take a little flyer we have. When you leave here, go down the edge, you have to get a stack of them and bring back and leave in the back. And take your flyer down to all of you what's the neatest thing to do? If you got your name, and put you and your wife's name on there. Well, incidentally, I found out if you put your wife's name on there, her name goes first, yours goes second.
Right.
I thought it was Ben and Susan, Barry, Barney. Somebody says, don't you dare say that out loud. What do you mean? He says, you're wrong. It's Susan and Ben Barron. So then, people want the other way, leave them alone. But if you want to put your name on, and you have 2 or 3 children, and they want to put their name, now when I say a name, you put a first and last name, so it's the whole name. Well, we make the forms, get all the forms, get 2 or 3 of them, fill them all in, and holler at Marion over there, and let's take them as a group, and we'll make sure we put them on the wall as a group. So if you and 2 or 3 of your family members all be on that wall right together, in the same spot, let us know. We'll do that. Love it. We'll do it. We'll do it for anybody who'll do it. We had a Marston family out of Shreveport, came down, and they wanted 14 names on the wall. And we told them, you give us those 14 on this flyer, and we'll group them all right together. And I mean, they wrote us a nice check when they left, too. Now, another thing, please help us. We're worried that we're going to lose some names. When I was talking to Miss Marston at the time, I said, I'm worried about names like Emerson, Pratt, Willard. You mentioned that name, so a young person said, who the heck is that? Never heard anybody like that. Well, she was a big preservationist at Dacres. I mentioned that there. She paid for her name to be on the wall. So we put her on Pratt Willard's, some Pratt Willard's name there. Look for that. And not to say to you, but if you can think of some name that we've left off. Nobody put in Matoire's name. So we put Matoire's name in there. That should be.
What about Sudie Lawton? Because she was so instrumental in helping keep that rock house from...
I have to look and see. But all of these people, either you can do it, or somebody else can do it, or if you don't have a way to do it, let us know, and we'll try to chase the 150, because we want everybody's name on that wall that should be on that wall. That's where we are now. Answer the questions if you got it. If not, I'll shut up before y'all throw me out.
What did I say, Minnie? You can speak for 3 minutes, not 300. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I do want to say, Benny helped through the Historic Foundation to get the weeds out from underneath the big oak tree that doesn't look good, but it's making acorns, and some of the branches will come back. But it's in good shape. But the Historic District Development Commission put up $2,000. The Historic District Commission put up $1,000. HDDC put up $2,000. The foundation put up $1,000.
Now, Sharon, I told you this before. I don't know what happened under that tree you're talking about, but right now it looks so much better than it did before we started. I don't know what happened, but we're not trying to look a gift horse in the mouth. We just like it looking better. Now, before you get down there, you're going to see a lot more walkways with pavers.
Just
so
not
those
around the tree.
Those 3 oak trees keep you away from the tree. They go out and around the tree. They go way out from around them. And they're putting all the mulch in, the last one down, and we're trying to design it. It's not a walkway under those trees. Mm-hmm. We don't want people walking around them. So that we tried to invite everybody to the walkway. You'll see it when you get down there.
Well, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your time
thanks for the update.
and your efforts with this. It wouldn't have happened without you, Benny.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. But it's been a
Look forward to
lot
seeing
of
it
people.
done.
We've put it right now at 4 years plus. We're at 4 years last August now. We're about 4.5 years. It's going to be right at 5 before we get out of there.
Goodness.
But people, you're going to be proud of it. You're going to be proud of it. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank
I have
you.
a quick question. My mother was a Rachel, but she's deceased. Could I put her name on?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's the names we want. I've had any number of people call in, Gail, Lord, and Lindsay, you know them. They got to talk about it. I said, wait a minute. Gail's mother was a great artist here in town. She drew pictures all over the place, all over it. She said, well, shouldn't I her name on the wall? I said, of course, Gail. Give me $150. Her name's on the wall. But everybody, now I'll tell you something else now. Everybody needs to realize the story of that house, and I'm finding out people don't know. Remember now, that house was not built on plantation land, and we dug it out, we got all the proof of it. He built the house. Now, who built it? Pacali. Hear what I said? Pacali. Listen how I'm saying it. You'd Google that, it says it's Pascal. No, it's not. His name is Pacali. Mm-hmm. And that L-A-Y at the end of it, spell it that L-T-E, that E has a special sound of A, is Pacali. So the house will be called Pacali Rock House. to separate from the other rock house. But that's the correct pronunciation. Also, we call that other building the support building while we were building it. But that building official name, we put a little placard in front of it, is the cabinet. Cabinet. That's C-A-B-A-N-E-T-T-E. It's defined as a small building, a small cabin behind another building. That's what it is. But we didn't want to call it support building.
No,
So we want to give it a better name than that. But all of you all, your names on the wall, holler at me. Sue, we got Sue, not Weaver, of course. But I got with Sue, she wanted 7 names, and we must work 2 or 3 days, get them all just like she wanted them. But people will work with you because you are preservationists. You're the kind of people that have done all this work to preserve it in action, and your name needs to be down there. But if you'd like to see the names on there, there's some there right now. Be glad to show them to you. And if I can help you, let me know.
We'll plan to come back in a few months when you're going to have champagne down on the riverbank.
I was going to say, what I'd love to do, now one day to put in your noggin is May 9, Thursday, May 9. Thursday, May 9, we're going to have a huge gala down that riverbank. And you all have got to be there. And we're going to have dedication that afternoon, and we want to do it up right down the riverbank. And we're waiting a couple of months after the house is finished. So things are blooming, the grass is green, and really looks good. But people, please go down and look at it. We were talking a while ago. We started this 4 years ago last August. And when I started, letting people know we're getting $2 million and down at riverbank, and I just knew we would get people come after us. I promise you, in the 4.5 years, we have not heard any negative attack on that rock house. None. All I keep hearing is how much should we finish it so we can get down and look at it.
Well, thank you so very much, and we'll look forward to all going down as a group too.
Yes.
We'll buy the wine for you, champagne.
Good.
We'll serve you champagne.
We'll be there. Thank you, Dr.
I'll go
Barron.
get those flyers and bring a whole stack.
That would be fine.
For all y'all can take 2 or 3 of them, and if we can help you, give me a call. But that's the way it works.
Well, and you've got planning and zoning meeting here tomorrow, correct?
Well, we normally would. We don't have anything on our agenda for tomorrow.
Okay, well, maybe they can just sit out there for the next couple of months. I mean, it doesn't make any difference, does it, to you? Okay. Leave them out on the
I'll bring a
credenza.
stack and leave them back here, and you can leave them there. And people, if you know of any group that I can go talk to, please let me go talk to them. Remember, this house is a circa 1790s house built by a freed man of color. Freed man of color. We know his mother and daddy. We found the names, exactly where they're born. 1736, where they baptism, all of that. Freed man of color. He got his freedom, and instead of taking his freedom and going to New Orleans as a carpenter to make a lot of money, he stayed right downriver. The house is from downriver, people.
Yeah.
And give everybody credit. And the history of that house is embedded downriver. Everybody needs to know it. He built a house, and in 1802, just before he's finished, he saved $100 and went and bought a black female slave's freedom. The moment he had her freed, he went through manumission, freed her. It was his wife. 8 years later, he borrowed $800 from Matoir, Augustine Matoir, the same Matoir's name year. Took that money, went and bought another black female. When he owned her, went through the law and did manumission and freed her. She was his daughter.
Oh.
Now, people, if that's not a story, there's not a story around. And where's this house? Right down in the middle of Natchitoches on our front street. Beautiful. And everybody needs to know that. Everybody needs to know that story.
Well, please put the flyers on the back, that back credenza, and thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you again.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Okay, under new business, agenda item 3.1, Sidney Frederick, 732 Second Street. You want to go to the podium, and commissioners, you should have the application. And this goes where, Mr. Fredericks, where does it go?
In the front yard,
What's the name? I can't read you right. Is it, what house is it?
Bukasa.
Bukasa.
So it's double-sided?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And it meets the square footage requirements?
It's way under.
My
And-
question is, Sydney, how tall is that post?
I mean, we don't
Whatever
want
the-
this to overscale other
It's 4 by
signs.
4, so is it 4 feet high?
No, that's probably
That's the width
four.
of the-
It's, I didn't even go that far. I don't know.
I mean, we can't
wanna
have
come
a big
look?
old sign out there and compared to the others within the historic district,
Yeah.
is my concern.
I was coming to do whatever y'all say to do.
What's a good one that he could kind of just go off
I've
of?
looked at the Chaplain House, and it's kind of similar to that. I kind of modeled it after
At the,
that.
which house?
M's house.
The
Okay.
chaplain house?
Just do the same height as that one, you'd be fine with that? Same height?
As long as it's above the fence line where, they'll be able to see. It won't be, gigantic or anything like that.
What is the height of your fence?
Right here.
5 feet?
Okay.
But if your fence is 5 feet, and then you go another 3 feet, that's too tall.
No, I'm not going over the fence. Let me
Oh.
back up. There's concrete to about right here. There's
Okay.
concrete to about, 2 feet tall at the most. I just want to get above that concrete,
Oh,
but not above the actual 5 feet, just somewhere
Okay.
in that range. And I'm getting more specific. I didn't know the exact measurements y'all needed.
No.
And it's black with gold lettering?
Gold lettering?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And the address sign is black and gold, and it seemed like it would, it's on the actual building in between the first and second floor, and it would kind of accent it, if that's the right word.
Okay.
All right, so Bukasa,
Yes.
is that correct?
Okay, well, you understand basically what we're looking for height-wise and all.
Yeah, and I'm not going to put it up until I come, and
Just,
let y'all see exactly where it's going to be.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't want to put anything up that's going to be.
And you can
You can just
call
get a
the
couple of
office.
us or something to come
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
Call the office and let Ms. Rock contact the commissioners and see if a couple can go
Okay.
and help you.
And I can even make a, pre-run of one, something, just a couple of boards to see the right height before I'd even put the actual sign up.
Sure.
Okay.
And even start it, I'm not even going to start it yet.
Okay.
sub to
What type
that,
of printing will it be, Sydney? What kind of printing? The lettering and so forth, what will that be? Do you have an
I was going to make
example?
y'all suggestion too, whatever, I can cursive it, or I've got a friend that, welds, he's got that stamp where you can just weld it where it's blank on the middle. I've got
Well, wait a minute, what is the sign gonna be made out of?
iron.
The whole thing's gonna be iron?
No, the wood's going to be the treated wood post on the left.
Treated wood is
And then
the-
treated wood on the top.
And then on the top is treated wood.
Right, but
the
I see
rest of it's
the metal
metal.
hanger, but the sign itself is gonna be what?
metal.
It's going to be metal as well?
Yes, ma'am.
The only other metal one I can think of that's in the district is the new one that was put up on the corner of Jefferson and Pine. That's a metal one, and they painted on it, which doesn't look that great, but,
You're talking about the Bryants?
yeah, the
one with
Bryants. Right.
You got what is the State Farm one? Yeah, he's saying that part's gonna be metal, I think.
I mean, I didn't know if Platinum Signs or one of those places was gonna do it, where you can, use a black background and then have the letters adhered to it, that are gold or whatever.
And how are those attached?
That's
He
to be
doesn't know-
done
he doesn't
too.
know what he's-
I may do 3 or 4 signs and let y'all come see which one's the best one.
Perhaps that would work.
I think that's the best idea. You
Probably.
need to do a little bit more work on this before we can approve it to really know
I would definitely do that.
what it's
Okay.
gonna look like.
I'll make y'all some examples to vote on.
All
Okay.
right,
And find out too, I mean, if it's gonna be painted, is it gonna be, letters adhered? How are you going to actually do the sign? That would help too.
And if it's going to be double-sided, if you're going to have the information on both sides of the...
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Rock, if he calls the office, as soon as you get your stuff together that you want the commission to look at, if you'll contact Ms. Rock, and let's get 3 commissioners to meet with Mr. Fredericks, and decisions can be made
Okay.
on site. Would you like to put that in?
Also,
I'm
Sydney,
sorry.
just so that you, in order to get an idea, go through the district and look at the different signs. Like you were saying, you were looking at the design that M and Steve have at their house, Chaplain House. Kind of go through the district and get an idea of what's already in the district, and that way that'll help you put some examples together to bring back for us.
Will do.
So do we need a motion to form a committee of the whole, consisting of 3 members to be appointed by you to make the decision on this, Sharon? Is that how you think we should do it?
That's fine.
I move that we form a committee of the whole, consisting of 3 members to be appointed by the chair to vote on, I don't know, what's the application number?
Where's my agenda?
On Sidney Frederick's application.
I'll
Agenda
second.
On the proposal,
Okay, it has been moved by Mr. Donahoe, seconded by Ms. Salter. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Okay. And thank you for working with the commission on this.
sure.
Thank y'all.
All righty.
Sydney, I think the Steel Magnolia ones is pretty tall. You might go look at how high that one is, a measurement, now that I'm just thinking about it, so it might give you a good perspective.
I think it all depends on the height of the house in proportion with, you know, the house and what's around it and that sort of thing, not just because somebody else has an 8-foot one
Just
or
needs to be
whatever.
proportioned, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll talk. Okay. All right. All right, Mr. Payroll? And you were kind enough to give us some photographs. Commissioners, you have those. They were in your packet. And you want to tell us what's going on?
Yes, ma'am. I had a tree fall on my office probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I replaced the shingles, and the guy I got to replace them said, when he finished, I said, that's a little darker than the other shingles. He's like, oh, that'll fade in. You just got to give it time. Well, he got me.
30 years.
Yeah, exactly, a 30-year shingle. Probably waiting on it to fade, but at my house, I have white house and a metal roof just like this, and I wanted to do the same with my office. And went around town and saw some other metal roofs, and it's a lot of people have the little standing seam metal roof. I don't like, it's not gonna be like an old, the screws are showing roof. It'll be a metal roof, a 2-inch standing seam, and then I'll never have to worry about it again. It's done. So that's what I'd like to put the metal roof and paint the building white.
How does that compare to the other Edward Jones roof that we got on by my
I'm
office?
concerned about the width of the panels of the roof. I don't like those little skinny things.
No, these are 16 inches.
These are, yeah, these are
16
wide.
inches.
Mhm, they're 16
wide.
inches. Mhm.
Okay, I just want to make
I
sure
think
that.
that's
So-
what I see here.
Is it pretty similar to the other?
Yeah, the other Edward Jones in downtown, it has a metal roof, and like his, it's not the skinny, it's the wide.
These are wider,
Same
they're
height.
wider
Yeah, because
panels.
that other looks like corrugated.
And Desiree and Dan, it's kind of the same color as theirs. Sean's is different color,
Yeah,
but
it's
similar to
been there
theirs.
longer, too. Yeah. All right, you
And it'll be
proposing-
painted, did you say it's gonna be painted?
Not the building, not the, yes, ma'am.
But the metal roof will be what color?
Just what you're seeing here, the galvalume, or however you pronounce that.
On the back, you have that will be black, roof will be black.
Is it black?
No, no, it's
That's
gonna
the
be just like
trim.
this picture, not black. When I first came and talked to Nicole, I found somebody that said, and I heard a contractor said you could paint the actual shingles, and I was like,
Yeah.
so that's why I was saying, maybe we could do that black, but then I heard it looked, I didn't see it, but it just sounded worse and worse the more I dug into it, so I was like, no, just do this and get it over with, so. But no, it would be the color of the picture.
So the blown up pictures we're talking about?
The bone, yes.
Okay, so
Is
white,
that silver? Is it silver, or do you call that white?
Blue, I think.
Oh, it looks blue to you?
Scooter, what color?
And then
Yeah,
the
what
one,
color is
It's
it?
just a regular metal roof, like a silver metal roof.
okay,
Silver.
because the one in the small picture to the side of it is green.
Yeah, no, it's the bigger picture right here.
All right. So
That's
it-
my technology, my lack of. I
And
printed
what-
it out.
probably your
But you're
printer,
do-
your
you're
printer
doing some-
too.
Are you doing some other painting in the project too?
No, it's just gonna be the building, and I'll have, the shutters right now are green, I wanna paint those black, and have like black sconce, on the outside. So, black, white, metal roof.
Any lighting you're installing?
He just said
I
that.
have some lights in the
Sconces.
back, so they're already
Oh,
there.
the sconces, okay, I'm sorry.
And part of your building is brick, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That will be painted white
Yes,
as
ma'am.
well? So you're gonna go with
The whole thing.
the
Well,
white
look good.
brick, okay?
Yeah, it'll look nice.
And the black trim.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it will be. I move to approve the proposal as
Second.
submitted.
It's been moved by Dr. Crosno to accept the application as presented. Ms. Robinson has seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Well, good luck.
All right, thank you, I appreciate it.
What's going on your property to the side there?
They, the city bought it, or put it under contract to put, kind of one of those little pocket parks that they were doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then,
I drove by
they
there
came with
today.
a crazy number, because they were using Cane River Waterways money, and came up with a crazy number for the project, and they canceled it, so.
Wasn't it gonna be like a fishing thing?
Yeah, they were gonna put a fishing pier down there, and that's, I don't, it's
But
60
the
foot.
city's gonna maintain the property though, right now?
Not right now it's mine, they backed out of that.
Oh,
And
so
Mr.
it's yours.
Yeah, unless you want it.
Definitely not.
So it's not going to be a pocket park like,
You need to talk to Mr. Ed Lee and say that it needs to be. Right now, it's nothing.
I've tried that, Ed and I had a lengthy conversation about that.
They were all for it for about a month, and then it,
Yeah.
you
Well-
talk them into it, we'll get you a commission.
All right. What about that property across on the other side? Is that where they're staging all
Yeah.
the road repair,
repair,
street repair?
Yeah.
That was really busy today when I drove by.
Get
Busted up
ready
that
to
concrete
rock
today.
and roll with that.
We'll see. Well, thank y'all, I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Payroll. Okay, other new business, agenda item number 4. I wanted to mention to you all that it's about time for us to take maybe an hour after you have had time to read the whole ordinance. There's some things in the ordinance that we probably need to look at as far as adapting, changing. So I've asked Ms. Rock sometime in the next couple of months if you'll get a copy of the ordinance for everybody. And folks, read through it, mark up what you think might need to be changed or adapted in some way. And then maybe we can meet maybe an hour before our regular meeting sometime the latter part of the spring.
Okay.
I don't think it'll take too long, but,
or maybe we can do it over like a little luncheon or something.
well, that gets into a Saturday. I doubt, I don't, we'll talk about
We
that.
can do it on- during
We'll
the
talk about
weekday.
time.
I think,
During the-
would this be a good time to try to put in, that provision about demolition by neglect, so we can try to
Yeah,
cover
you still
some?
have that research.
Yeah, I've got that,
don't
New Orleans has got that in there, so I'll
Yeah.
try to pull that.
you? Do, and we'll look at that. Okay, folks, any other?
Yes, I have one other thing.
Sure.
I don't know if you know, Chantrell, that Stanley told me today that the FAA reported to them that tomorrow, apparently they're going to take down the water tower. They're having a 140-foot crane. The address was 400 University Parkway, which is the old Kelly Weber building. So I'm assuming that that's what's happening tomorrow. But they had, it's in the flight path,
Yeah.
so they had to let our airport know.
Mm,
And so, I just wanted to
wow.
let you all know, that's the only thing I can think of going on in that area.
Yeah.
So you
Did
might
we
wanna
ask them to try to salvage any of
We
that?
did, now whether they will or try or can't, I don't know.
I thought we voted that they couldn't take the tower down.
No, they
because
came
it's-
back, they came
Yeah,
back
they
for
had
another
that.
meeting with an engineer
An
report.
engineer's report,
Yeah, it's,
which was,
it's not salvageable,
it just,
just not.
It would
But we were
cost
try,
a
if they can
fortune and then
save
it
that top
would
part, we
break.
want to save the top
really
part.
damaged.
But I'm assuming that's what's happening with that address and all.
I hadn't heard
Well,
anything.
thanks for the
Yeah.
info, we can all go watch.
Yeah, everybody just, yeah, I think it said from 8 to
I
3.
can look from my
It was
backyard.
what they've
Yeah, you,
asked for the time frame to,
oh, gosh.
to watch out for the
'Cause it's right-
airplanes.
Right down from what my
But that's all.
backyard is.
Okay, is there a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Dr.
I'll
Owens has
second.
moved, Ms.